Guys, Jackie M from Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, and this is our session number 8, and we are going on, we're going to do 2 new recipes using Malaysian Stingless Bee Honey. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Give me 2 seconds while I check that everything is working okay at the Facebook end. Just let me have a quick look.
Paul, you're not live on Facebook yet.
I'm not live on Facebook. Okay, so save changes and what's going on. Let's have a look. Set up live video. And thanks for those watching over on YouTube. Sorry about this. It's just a little bit of an extra step. Paul, can you check now to see if we're live or go live? Okay, here we go. Why? Okay. Save changes. Okay. Okay. It says it's happening now, but let me just go back and change the setting quickly. Save changes. Choose settings. Okay. Let's have a look. Settings. Live tab. Okay. Quick access to your live video. Distribution. Okay.
How are you coming along?
I'm just trying to look. I lost that setting where it says, it's really weird because Facebook changed things up a little bit. And it asked me to set to automatically go live, but it's not going live still. Okay, so let me just go and try and set
Just check if there's a button that says go live.
There isn't. That's the thing. Let me just go back and change it and just say update event. Set up live video. Okay. Okay. See, it's preset to automatically go live, which isn't what I want because it's already past 7 o'clock.
So yeah, you're gonna have to move it forward.
Yeah, unless I change the time.
Just change the time and turn off auto go live.
There's no option to change. It's all grayed out. Back.
I'm trying to think.
Okay. View post. Edit post. Let me just share screen with you. Okay, let me. Interested. Next. Event settings, event options, showcase this. Cancel. Settings. Stream. Auto, which is the best latency. Use persistent.
Stream key.
Stream key, yep, that's all set up. And then it's only got update live events, and there's no option for me to change it to automatically go live. Go live. Right?
I'm gonna try to see what I can do on this side.
Okay. Can you see the event at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me go into video. I'm trying to think. Do you want to just go ahead and chat and?
Okay.
I'll try to figure it out.
Okay. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'm sorry about this. I'm just trying to set it up on Facebook, and Facebook is the one that's a little bit finicky.
I'll let you know as soon as it works.
Okay.
I'm in the producer now.
Okay, cool. It just keeps popping up these tips that are redundant for me, but the option for me to automatically go live is already enabled, so it doesn't allow me to just kind of go live now. if you know what I mean. All right, guys, thanks again so much for joining me. Thanks for your patience. We have some very exciting stuff lined up for you, but we are having some technical issues with Facebook. We want to make sure that everything is set up before we start cooking. But in the meantime, for those of you watching on YouTube, just make sure you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And what we're going to be doing is a second session. If you missed the first session, you can catch the replay at youtube.com/JackieM. But it's on Kelulut honey, which is officially recognized as, okay, perfect. Apparently we are live on Facebook. So thank you so much, Paul. You won't believe in times like these that I actually am a former Microsoft systems engineer, but having gone live for so many years, things still go wrong. Hey, Bayu, thanks so much for tuning in. All right, guys, let me introduce you very quickly to Hamza. Hamza, how are you? You're just muted, so let's see if I can just get you to unmute your microphone.
Okay, hi.
Yay, fantastic.
Yay.
Hey, we are so excited to have Hamza. Hamza, where are you dialing in from?
Right now at Penang, University Science Malaysia, we have Stingless Bee Farm here, including we have our own lab to process our Stingless Bee Honey, so we can deliver it to you all after this. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right, guys, you heard me talk a little bit about Stingless Bee Honey on Monday's session, but today we actually have a real expert here, Hamza, who is right at the the Stingless Bee Honey farm in Penang at the University Science Malaysia. So Hamza, we're going to bring you back a little bit later on and talk a little bit about what you guys do. So we're looking forward to it. Guys, make sure you stick around to find out what Hamza, the expert, has to say about Stingless Bee Honey, okay? I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, guys, thanks again so much for tuning in. Just let me remove Hamza. Okay, here we go. All right, what we're going to do are two recipes. So I'm going to change the layout in a little bit. Paul is being sarcastic. All right, so Stingless Bee Honey, guys, now available here in Australia, and I'm going to get Paul to pull up the URL in a little bit. Hey, Poon, how you doing? Watching from Malaysia. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Again, don't forget to say hello. If you've got any questions about the dishes that we're going to be making, make sure you post them in the comments, and I'll try and answer them, and I'll try and get Hamza to answer any technical questions about Stingless Bee Honey as well, okay? Now, what we're going to do are two recipes. Like I said, grilled halloumi salad with roast vegetables, with char-grilled vegetables. So that sounds really, really delicious. Who doesn't love roast vegetables and grilled halloumi? All right, so we're going to do that. And the second thing we're going to do is a traditional Malay-style pancake. It's called Lempeng Pisang, and that has actually been done a couple of times by some of our Masters of Malaysian Cuisine chefs, including Chef Dato Ismail Ahmad, and also by our chef Renee Jufri over in Dubai. All right, but this time I'm going to do it again so that you guys can have a go at making your own Malay-style pancake with banana leaves as well to boot. Okay, and we're using a Stingless Bee Honey in both of these recipes because they work perfectly for them. Okay, so now I'm going to change my screen layout so that you can see what's happening, and you can see my just like my laptop over here, and just a quick shout out to Lenovo. Lenovo supports me with supplying me with all the gear I need for my live broadcast. So thank you to Lenovo for all the gear that allows me to do these sessions for you guys. Okay, so I hope I'm still on. Paul, can you just verify that you can still hear me? Everything okay? Cool. Every time I move stuff around, I worry about like tripping over wires and all that. Okay, so guys, we're using Malaysian Stingless Bee Honey, like I said over here, and this is now available here in Australia. So we are very, very fortunate here in Australia to be able to get access to all these. Okay, and this is another one as well. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to make the savory, which is the halloumi salad. Okay, so roast vegetables, I've got some of these. Don't worry about bananas for the next recipe. Okay, and halloumi cheese. This is a type of Greek cheese that's very popular here in Australia nowadays. You can find them at your local supermarket, or you can find them at your greengrocers usually. So delicious. Hey, Annie, thanks so much for tuning in. Annie from the UK, right? So we have a very good audience from all over the world who've been following us, some of you guys for years now. So always great to have everyone join us. All right, here we go. And we have Bayu Superfood Malaysia. How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. So we've got some eggplants over here, okay? Here in Australia, our eggplant tend to be like this. In Malaysia, growing up in Malaysia, the eggplant we're more familiar with tend to be long and skinny and purple, okay? So we're going to grill some zucchini, some eggplant, and some halloumi, and then we're gonna dress it with Stingless Bee Honey and sesame oil, okay? And you can use olive oil, okay? I'm being Asian here, so I'm going to use sesame oil. And we're just cutting these up. Super, super simple recipes, okay? And if you've got sweet potato, that will be a good vegetable to grill as well. And obviously capsicum, right? So anything you can get your hands on be perfect for this. Just cutting them up. And if you've tried Kelulut, if you've tried Stingless Bee Honey, let me know in the comments, because I want to know what everyone else's knowledge or experience with the product is, okay? So Anis, how you doing? Yay. Mala, how you doing? Yay. For the record, some of the people watching right now are actually my online students who get coaching from me to learn how to cook Malaysian food. If you don't know who I am, I used to own a Malaysian restaurant here in Sydney, Australia. I gave it up a few years ago to look after my son who's got Down syndrome. And so now I teach people how to cook online, right? And if you've got any questions about that, let me know. So we've got these. What we're going to do is just brush these with a little bit of salt. And here's the halloumi cheese. And if you're vegan, like Mala is, obviously you can use tofu, right? Or you can use some form of other vegan substitute or vegan cheese. I'm not really that familiar with vegan cheeses. I don't know if any of them actually lend themselves to being grilled, but I'm sure you know there are lots of vegan options nowadays. Okay, so I'll just basically sprinkle a little bit of salt on here. I'm gonna heat up the pan here, and we're going to cut this up. All right, so this cheese here, it comes in a block. It doesn't have to be halloumi, but I think halloumi is one of these cheeses that lend themselves really well to being grilled. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it in about 1 centimeter chunks here. So most vegan cheeses do, as they're pretty firm and handy. Mala, never actually heard of this Stingless Bee Honey. You know, Mala, Stingless Bee Honey is classified as Malaysia's first superfood, and apparently there's a lot of academic research into this. I know that, sometimes people are a little bit suspicious about, health claims and all that, but the thing about Stingless Bee Honey is that it's backed by a lot of academic research in terms of its health properties. And apparently, we all here in Australia, we've heard of Manuka honey and all these other stuff, right? But Stingless Bee Honey has been tested to be to contain 4 or 10 times more antioxidant properties than Manuka honey, which is already considered widely as being really good for you. Okay, so I've got this heating up, and I'm just going to brush this with a little bit of oil. I don't want it to smoke too much because I don't want to set up the smoke alarm over here, but we're just going to grill some of these. I just love grilled vegetables. I don't know about you. And obviously you can do this on a barbecue as well. Hey Hisham, how you doing? Hey Shirley, watching from Melbourne. Yay, Shirley. We have Stingless Bee Honey in Australia. For all of you watching in Australia, very, very excited about Stingless Bee Honey finally being available here in Australia. And Paul is going to pull up on screen in a bit where you can pick them up. First of all, if you're based in Sydney, you can find them at Malaysian Groceries in Punchbowl. Just Google their address and you'll find like Malaysian Groceries in Punchbowl carries a lot of Malaysian products that you may have trouble finding at like, you know, other grocery stores. Okay. Most Malaysian products nowadays are pretty widely available, but if there's something a little bit more new or more niche, maybe try Malaysian Groceries in Punchbowl if you're in Sydney. And of course, anywhere else in Australia, just look up bayou-australia.com.au. You can order it directly from their website and they will deliver, okay, anywhere in Australia. So make sure you look them up. This is a very, very new product here in Australia, so we're very excited to show you guys what you can do with it in your cooking. Okay, so I'm just grilling this. Like I said, I just don't want to create too much smoke, but this will actually start to kind of like sweat a little bit. Okay. Let me just cover this a little bit. Hey, Susanna, how are you? Where's everyone tuning in from? I know Shirley's in Melbourne. I know Marla's in Sydney. I know Shirley's in the UK. Who else? Oh, Poon is in Malaysia. So we've got a very broad audience. So make sure you say hello and tell me which country you're representing. And like I said, you know, any kind of vegetable that lends itself to grilling would be perfect for this, right? Brush a little bit more oil on this. And let's see if we can just squeeze some room for the cheese, okay? So make sure you guys stick around because in a little bit we're going to talk to Hamza, who is dialing in from Penang at the bee farm itself, and hopefully he'll be able to, you know, describe a little bit how stingless bees are different to normal bees. I mean, everybody when they think of bees, they think of like being stung by bees, right? But stingless bees, like what happens if they don't have like stingers, you know? So any other question you want to ask Hamza, make sure you post them in the comments and I will get him to answer them in a little bit. You're still going. Susanna's watching from Malaysia. Yay. Okay, so this is just about done. Let me just cover this up again. I'm very conscious, guys. If my smoke alarm goes, I'm really, really sorry, but I've got a very sensitive smoke alarm here in Sydney. And he says, halloumi cheese is the cheese that you can grill and won't melt, but still stay in its own form. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Fauzia, how you doing? Fauzia, by the way, is tuning in from Pakistan. So it's great to have you, Fauzia. And fun fact, guys, after today's series, we have a marathon broadcast coming up for our viewers this coming Sunday, where we are going to be doing the first of our Ramadan broadcast. And guess what? Fauzia is going to be cooking for us. Fauzia is an amazing cook based in Pakistan, like I said, and she has a real treat. For those of you who've been watching Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, chefs cook for years now, right? For over a year now since we launched. You get to actually meet some special guests during this series, and they include we have the Malaysian embassy in Finland, the Karen George, who is the wife of the Malaysian ambassador to Finland. She's going to be cooking for us this Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned for further announcements about that. Yeah, Susanna, tell us. Susanna wants to share her experience with Bayou Kelulut during the pandemic. We'd love to hear it. And also Mokhtar Daud from Malaysia. Hey, Mokhtar, thanks for tuning in. Hisham says Bayou Kelulut is Malaysia's first superfood. Yeah. So everybody knows about superfoods nowadays, especially during this pandemic. So we'd love to hear your experiences about it. So look, guys, this is done. So I'm just going to turn this off. And I've got some salad leaves over here. I'm going to let this sit here for a little bit longer while I get the honey. Okay, guys, just to show you what you can get here in Australia is the Bayou brand of Stingless Bee Honey. And they come in 3 different sizes. This is the dinky little one. This is the larger one. And this is the big one, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit more about this with Hamza in a little bit. But in the meantime, I've got these. And what I'm going to do is make a dressing with it. Hey, Moise, how you doing? I love my Twitch people. Like, I haven't been on Twitch for so long. But for a couple of years, I was on Twitch, like going live 3 times a week. Kelulut honey has a tangy taste. That's it. Hisham, I forgot to mention, guys, the one defining feature from a taste perspective with Kelulut honey is that it's tangy, okay? It's not straight out. Everybody knows honey is just straight out sweet. Kelulut is actually tangy, so it's kind of like sweet and sour, okay? So I'm just going to pour some of this here. Okay, now I want to point out that Kelulut honey is a premium product, okay? So usually you would actually consume like 1 teaspoon a day, and only like you can eat it straight or you can mix it in a drink or something like that, right? I'm being a little bit like kind of, I'm exploring different ways to use it beyond just drinking it straight, okay? So I'm just adding some sesame oil, right? And of course, you can use olive oil if you like olive oil, but I'm trying to stick within the Asian theme, okay? Besides ayam products, ayam's factories are in Malaysia, so we're trying to stick to Malaysian products, okay? So I'm just mixing this up. Now, if you were doing a salad dressing that uses honey, you would typically add some lemon juice in here, right? To make it tangy, okay? To counter the sweetness. But with Kelulut, you don't have to do that because it's already tangy. So there you go. Susanna, Bayou helped me in reducing COVID symptoms. Just less than a week, I have fully recovered and tested negative. There you go, guys. Anybody like, yeah, I have to admit, I actually went through the same thing too. Like, everybody is different, I suppose, when it comes to COVID, like their symptoms and whatever. But about the same time I started taking Kelulut, right? I actually got a very mild dose of COVID. I virtually didn't even pick it up. It was really only detected through the through the rapid test. Okay, I had a very tiny, woke up a little bit tired one day. That was it, right? Again, like I said, maybe a number of factors, but I did start taking Kelulut like a couple of weeks before that, so it may have helped me. So there you go. Susanna says, suggest to consume Bayou Kelulut with a glass of pure pineapple juice without sugar. You will find it works wonders. There you go. You can add a little bit of pepper in the dressing as well. All right, and I'm not using Sarawak pepper, but anyone who is in Malaysia will know Sarawak pepper, by the way, guys, which incidentally is where the Bayou Stingless Bee Farm's located. Sarawak pepper is the bomb, all right? It's, you will never use any other type of pepper if you can get Sarawak pepper. Okay, so it's a dressing, just a little bit drizzle over here. Okay. And voila, if you've got tomatoes and all that, just give it a little bit of color, that'll be even better. So I'm going to take a nicer photo of this tomorrow morning. It's actually nighttime here in Australia. And I'm going to add some, you know, something more colorful in here. Maybe some sweet potato, grilled sweet potatoes. Delicious. And maybe some tomato or something like that. But this in and of itself is really, really delicious. Okay, so the tanginess, like I said, if you want to be creative in terms of using Kelulut for your recipes, right? I would suggest thinking about like recipes that, first of all, use honey, or secondly, recipes that use honey and a combination of honey and something tangy, just like the salad dressing for like summer salads, right? For grilled vegetables and all that, where they always talk about a vinaigrette dressing with a little bit of honey. With Kelulut, you don't need the vinaigrette bit, okay? Because this is already tang. Okay, cool. All right, so let me just bring on Hamza quickly. I hope he's ready to talk and tell us a little bit about this. And but stick around. After Hamza, we're going to do a traditional Malay pancake, banana pancake, which is so easy. You have to try it. Okay, so let's bring Hamza on camera.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. How are you, Hamza?
Hi guys.
Cool.
Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah, cool.
So for those who are just
delicious
now, thanks. I'll cook for you guys next time I'm in Penang. You know. So Hamza, you're in Penang. Where in Penang exactly are you?
I'm nearest to the bridge, Penang Bridge, inside University of Malaysia. Yeah, it's very near to the bridge.
Okay. Now you say you're at the University Science Malaysia. So the farm is actually at the university itself?
Yeah. We open it for the public if they want to learn and to know how to rearing the stingless bee colony at their place. Yeah. So we also have this place if they have the raw honey and then they want to what we call it to process it into the proper way, they can come here and we can give the service to them. Yeah.
Really? All right. So
Yeah.
you teach the public to make their own Kelulut, basically.
Yeah. It's like educational center for the stingless bee. Yeah, inside inside the lab we have the gallery here to show about the stingless bee and so they will know more about the stingless bee, what the difference between the stingless bee and the normal bee, how much their production, how to prepare their land before they introduce stingless bee to their place, something like that.
Okay. Now, can you explain to our audience how why is it like, you know, stingless bees? Like I said, when people think of bees, they think of getting stung by bees, right? So do stingless bees, like if they don't have a stinger, how do they sting you? Do they like, do they have other defense mechanisms or?
Yeah, they have their own defense mechanism. Even though they doesn't sting, they still can bite you. They love to, they still can bite you. Usually they will attack if you wear the black shirt or you use your hair is black, so they will attack the black color things. Yeah, something like that. So when they attack you, the swarming of stingless bee and will come and attack you together. It's okay to be bite by them, but if they bite around your eyes, around your mouth, it's quite painful.
Really?
But the other places, we just take one by one and remove it from our body. Because we love the honey, we love the stingless bee. We just remove slowly without hurting them.
Right.
Like the normal bees. Like the normal bees, if they stung you, they will die. But the stingless bee, they bite you. If you remove it carefully, they will still living. Yeah.
Oh, right. So you don't have to wear any protective gear when you go and handle them, or?
Yeah, it depends on how we manage it. Sometimes we wear the bees uniform. But sometimes if you expert on it, you have your own way to handle it. Yeah, you can process it like this. Yeah,
Okay.
there's some method to harvest the honey without being bite. Without if the bees without being stung, but for the stingless bee without being bite.
Oh, right. Fascinating. Now, his charm is saying, I want to see the stingless bee hives. So can you show us the hives?
Yeah, sure. I think I will bring the phone and then bring it to outside. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. This is fascinating.
We have one here for the display. Wait, I open my. Yeah, this is the hive for the stingless bee.
Okay. Now, I understand they don't make the honey in like honeycomb, right? So there's no honeycomb in
There's
Okay.
no honeycomb for the stingless bee.
Okay.
This one, the different species. This species quite docile, so this one will not attack me even though I open it. Yeah, I will choose this one to show with you all. So here, when you open it, you can
Oh,
see a
wow.
lot of small stingless bee inside. So the stingless bee store their honey and bee pollen inside the pot, not in the comb. So each pot we can harvest around 2 mil to 5 mil of honey.
Only 2 to 5 mils. How long does it
Yeah,
take?
only 2 to 5 mil. It's not much. That's why the stingless bee honey is quite expensive compared to the normal bees.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long does it take them to produce the 2 mils of honey?
Wow, this one is complicated question. But the thing is, if they want to produce 1 kilo of honey, they need to go for 5 million flowers to get 1 kilo of honey. Yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot of work actually. Yeah.
wow, guys! I
Yeah.
hope you appreciate. Next time you go and pick up one of these, imagine how many flowers were needed.
But the thing is that quite interesting about stingless bee honey is their size is quite small, so they can go for the smaller flower that the bees can't extract the nectar from it. So basically, the stingless bee honey will have more. I love my word. They will have a lot of active compound that beneficial to your body actually. Yeah.
Okay. The now I understand that the main farm. I know that you're in Penang at the moment, but the main Bayou farms are actually in Sarawak. Is there a reason for that?
There's no reason because stingless bee can be rearing around the around the equator.
Okay.
Equator. So we can have it in Indonesia, we can have it in Malaysia. But for the Sarawak, we choose it because they have a special plant there. And their taste, the stingless bee taste is quite different compared to Penang.
Is that
Sometimes
right?
if you go in there, you can taste a quite bitter taste. You can taste a bitter sour taste. The stingless bee, the uniqueness of the flavor is various.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The texture also is quite different compared here. It's Penang. It
Sure.
depends on the flower that they go because there's some plant that can be found only at Sarawak. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the farms in Sarawak, I understand that they're from like small farms. Is that right? It's not like Bayou has like millions and millions.
No.
Okay.
Because if you want to have a stingless bee colony at your area, you can only have maximum 100 stingless bee colony in one place. So to produce more, we need to have a lot of farm to have the stingless bee.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So you
Yeah, but the
basically
thing is for the Sarawak is we choose the native people there, so they have they can get the extra income from the stingless bee, because stingless bee you don't need to taking care of it every time you need to clean it. It's not the maintenance is very low. Yeah, you just need to taking care of the flowers, the plant, and then by later on you can harvest the honey.
Oh, right. This is fascinating. Yeah, this is really cool, guys. I hope you found out a lot about stingless bee honey here, right? Like Hamza was saying, that they're very, very premium because it takes like how many million flowers to produce 1 kilo of
5
honey?
million, 5 million flower for 1 kilo of honey.
Can you imagine the scale of that? So we're
Yeah.
very, very fortunate, like, to finally to be able to get this here in Australia. And apparently, you have your first official shipment leaving Malaysia for Australia tomorrow. That's going to be massive launch event, right? So that's the official first shipment coming to Australia. So it's symbolic. Make sure you stay tuned to find out where you can buy this in Australia. Like I said, up until now, it's quite funny. Adam from Bayou, Australia was telling me a while back that, like, he got contacted by someone who was, I don't know, from somewhere else, and they had been to Malaysia and they've tried stingless bee honey, and now they lived overseas, and I think they moved to Australia or something, and they didn't know where to get it. So people will actually try and hunt it down. Once you've tried it, you have to appreciate, like, all the antioxidant properties, and the fact that we mentioned in our previous broadcast, the fact that it's low GI. Is that right, Hamza? That it's low GI is good for, like, people.
Low GI is good for your body.
It's got all the benefits and much more of normal, like, good quality honey, but without the issue with, like, raising your insulin and that sort of stuff, right? So it's kind of like, best of both worlds. All right. Well, thanks so much for this.
We train our community. We train our community, the stingless beekeepers, to get the honey same quality, same as inside the pot. So we try to have a very clean honey. We use our we teach them how to clean the bottles, how to clean the stingless bee palm, and then we go from the below to the upper part very clean. The cleanliness of the things we taking care of it very strictly.
Cool. So you manage all the quality control and all that over in your facilities. Okay. Thanks very much for this, Hamza. Guys,
sure. Thank you so much.
We'll see if you can stick around. We'll bring you back towards the end to tell us just like some final words about stingless bee honey. Do you actually, how you mentioned that you're open to the public? So if we have people visit Penang, can they go and see you, or?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, you can contact me. Facebook below. Maybe.
Okay, cool. Guys, stick around. I'm going to do the next recipe now. But thanks very much, Hamza. And hopefully, if you can stick around towards the end, we'll bring you back for some final words. Okay? I'll catch you in a bit.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thanks. All right, guys. Thanks again for sticking around. Any questions about stingless bee honey, post them in the comments, or any questions about the recipes, post them in the comments, and we'll try and address them between me and Hamza before we wrap up the end of this session. And the second recipe is going to involve banana. And if you are lucky like me here, you can get a hold of banana leaves, even better, okay? So I've got this banana leaf. This is actually, I stole it from my neighbor's garden. But I mean, they don't mind. They told me I can get it anytime. All right, so I'm going to cut this up, and I'm going to change my screen layout again. So just give me a second. Here we go. Okay, insert top left. Here we go. Okay, guys, so back again, and this time we are going to be making a very, very quick and easy banana pancake, all right? Now, here in Australia, everybody eats pancakes, so you guys know what pancakes are like. Have you ever tried Malay-style traditional banana pancake? I bet you hadn't, because I hadn't. I'm Malaysian, and I hadn't tried this until my fellow Serembanian Chef Dato Ismail made it for one of my shows last year, okay? It's called Lempeng Pisang. And pisang is banana, which ironically in Afrikaans, it also means banana. How about that, guys? So, all right. So I've got one banana here. I'm just making a small portion. Super, super, super easy. Okay. No like baking powder, no any special ingredients required. So we're just going to break this up. I'm going to mash this up and I'm going to use a spoon, a fork. Okay. So we're just mashing this up. And what we're going to add is a little bit of plain flour. Okay, that should be enough, I think. And a bit of grated coconut. If you're in Malaysia, you'll be very fortunate to be able to. Malaysians fail to appreciate what we have. When we were growing up in Malaysia, you thought you can get all this, but in Malaysia, you can get fresh grated coconut. Here in Australia, we've got to settle for desiccated coconut. I mean, obviously there are ways around it, but we're trying to make this accessible to the average Australian kitchen. Okay, so we're not making you go and hunt down fresh grated coconut or whatever. Paul said Afrikaans stole like 1/4 of the Malay Indo languages. Yeah, there you go. So Paul is blaming his ancestors for linguistic thievery. All right, so mashing this up, and then you know what I'm gonna add Malaysian coconut milk again. Okay, you guys have heard me tout the superiority of Malaysian coconut milk, right? If you want premium flavored coconut milk, go Malaysian. Okay, so I'm just adding this in here. And why? I mean, like I said, coconut milk has some coconut milk here in Australia, right? I mean, the cheapo ones, you couldn't tell they were coconut milk, but for the fact that they look white, right? But if you want something that really pops, that really enhances the flavor and really brings out the coconutty vibe of your dish that you're cooking, you really want to impress your friends, go pick up some made in Malaysia coconut milk, okay? So we've got this mixed up, and usually you add some white sugar here, okay? We're going to add a little bit of Kelulut. Where is my Kelulut? Okay. Okay, Stingless Bee Honey. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit. Okay, just mix it through. And you can add egg, optional. And I'm going to split the difference because I actually have some egg whites. I'm going to add a little bit of egg whites here. Optional. You can leave out the egg if you want. Okay, it's no biggie. Just mix it up. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of the flour. So all these ingredients are always available in your pantry, I'd imagine, right? Some desiccated coconut, a little bit of honey, Kelulut honey I'm using here, a bit of coconut milk, a little bit of egg if you want, optional. So you can keep this vegan and leave out the egg, banana, and some flour, okay? And going to add, you can add some butter or you can add some oil here. Let's drizzle a little bit of oil in here. And then what we're going to do, Craig Sydney, I'm glad there are no stinging bee in your way. Oh, spoken like a true what do you call it? North side snob, north of the bridge, Harbour Bridge. When are you gonna come and cook with me, Craig? It's about time you came again. All right, so banana pancake mixture, Malay style, very, very rustic. Okay, so we're just gonna put it here on the banana leaf. If you don't have banana leaf, you can just cook it on your pan without. Okay, so we're just gonna cover this like this and turn on the grill here and just cook it. Anis, great sharing, Mr. Hamza. Right, Hamza is so informative about like stingless bee. I learned so much from just that short little session. Okay, so we're cooking this here, and it's going to take about 5 minutes or so to cook. So why don't we, if Hamza is around, Hisham, the smart community, help underprivileged beekeepers, B40 community. Let's bring Hamza back on to talk a little bit more about stingless bee honey. So I hope he can hear me. Mala says it's intriguing. Okay, Hamza, hey, how you doing?
Hi.
So this, so I thought I might bring you back to talk a little bit more about what you guys do over there. So Hamza, are you always based at USM, at University Science Malaysia?
Pardon?
Are you always stationed at University Science Malaysia?
It depends, because sometimes I need to going back to Sarawak and then to help the community if they have any issue in stingless bee rearing, or sometimes actually this May I will conduct the training at the Sarawak with the community how to propagate the stingless bee without taking the colony from the tree. Using the hive, we propagate it from one hive into 2 hives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the community will have more hive, and then they don't need to buy a new hive if they want to produce more honey later on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hisham is saying stingless bee we call Kelulut in Malaysia, native bee.
Yeah.
Bag bee. I've never heard sugar bag bee. And is there any Aussies heard of sugar bag bee? I've never heard of that. But interesting. But yeah, in Malaysia we call it Kelulut, right?
Yeah, Kelulut, black bees.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
black bees. Yeah. Sometimes they call it as itama. Itama in bahasa, if we call hitam is a black. So itama is like, yeah, the word is quite same with the hitam. Hitam, yeah.
I've never heard that before either. So okay. Now, when is your farm open like all year round for people to visit? Like, do the bees produce honey all year round, or are they seasonal?
They're seasonal here. Even though we don't have 4 seasons here, we have 2 seasons actually in Malaysia. We have a rainy season and hot season. So
flip this over, okay? Yeah, sorry, keep talking.
So during rainy season, actually the flowers still will blooming, but the thing is the nectar that been producing during the rainy season is not much. So usually after the end of the rainy season, the hot season coming, and then during that time there's a lot of flower that blooming up. And in Malaysia, we call it musim buah-buahan, which is during that time our orchard will have a lot of flowers, and later on we have a lot of fruit later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Fruit season later on. After the flower season, we will have the fruit season later on. During that time we can have a lot of durian and then mangosteen and others.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah, durian, is it?
Yeah. Oh, I love durian. I'm writing a durian cookbook. You guys heard it here first, by the way. The Masters of Malaysian Cuisine are going to publish a durian cookbook this year. Okay, so you heard it here first, and that's going to be for Mafi. So I'm just still cooking here. Okay, so the stingless bees, they're smaller than normal bees. Do they have stripes on them like normal bees or no?
Yeah, they doesn't have stripe, only black. That's why itama.
Okay,
black bees.
Itama. Okay. Interesting, right, guys? Yeah. And you mentioned there are different species of stingless bees as well.
Yeah, correct. In Malaysia, we have around 39 stingless bee species.
Okay.
But with our community, we only advise to only have 3 species of stingless bee, because we have very small stingless bee. The production of honey is very low. It's very little. The spot of the honey is very small. But even though it's small, the honey is very nice. But the thing is, if you have it, you can consume it by your own, but you cannot sell it to the others. You cannot share it with the others. But for the species that we choose, we can harvest the honey and even we can sell it to the other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So does the honey need to be purified in any way at all before you consume it? Or
Yeah. But the thing is, the uniqueness of the stingless bee, the moisture content inside the stingless bee is quite high, around 28 to 32%. So the stingless bee is quite lighter, and then watery. The texture of honey is quite watery. So the thing is, here we will remove the moisture content from the honey without using any heating element.
Oh, how do you do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have our own machine here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our community at the Sarawak 6 farm, they also have 6 kind of machine to reduce the water from the honey.
Oh, actually, Hisham is saying, Hamza, please share Hilda machines and other tools at our labs.
Oh.
So, cool. And in the meantime, Hisham is saying in Indonesia, they call kelulut clenching, and in
Clenching.
In the Philippines, they call it kiwot. I've never heard either of those terms. Interesting, right? Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we have this machine here. We have also 6 machines at the Sarawak. They will pour the honey inside, and then from it, the machine will reduce the water content from the honey.
Okay.
Because usually, if you want to reduce moisture content from the honey without using heating element, it will take a long time. So this machine will enhance and will reduce the time consumption to reduce the moisture content from the honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The I had a question for you, and it's just slipped my mind because I was focusing on this. But yeah, so with kelulut, it's also used for wound dressing. Is that right? Like people use it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us how you use it for wound dressing?
Actually, I'm not expert on that area, but the thing is, so the stingless bee have one of it. They have sugar, a simple sugar. It's good for our body to consume that sugar, and then the self-repair mechanism will taking part of it. They will work on it.
Okay.
Simple sugar. Our body very easily can process that sugar. It's not same like normal sugar because we call it very halulus or maltose and sugar. Yeah. So the second thing is the stingless bee honey got one of the characteristic which is antibacterial. So they will kill any germs on your wound.
Okay, there you go, guys. So, so have one in your medicine cabinet.
That's one from my understanding, because if I want to tell more, I need to have a background, scientific background to tell about it. Yeah.
Sure.
Only know 2 of it.
Okay, no, that's cool. And by the way, Hisham is saying in Malaysia, 2 species we normally rear of the stingless bee called the G. thoracica. Is it thoracica? And H. hitama. So hitama
G. thoracica, H. hitama, and L. seminata. We advise for the people in Malaysia to have 3 kind of species.
Okay.
L. seminata.
Sure.
The other name is L. seminata. Yeah. Sometimes we call it L. terminator.
Now, someone's asking, please ask Hamza about Milos and Mael. M-A-E-L, Mael? Is that?
Oh, my loss. Sure. I can show you. Yeah, I need to. Wait for a second. Oh, cannot change.
So those are
it-
each one of these little huts are each like basically like a hive. Is that right?
yeah. So here is my loss. My loss is not. I'm lost something. My loss stands for Malay Poniculture. It's a stingless bee rearing Malay Poniculture integrated locking system. Because here, even though we can have any we can rearing stingless bee anywhere, but we have a predator come to disturb our place, such as monkeys. They love to take the honey, and then our colony will die. So the thing is, when we using the locking system like this, we can have one key to open 30 hive. So
Okay.
we don't need to have a lot of key to manage our farm.
Okay, right. How
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. So every place in Sarawak, we have 25 of my loss like this. So they have 75 colony for each places.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, 75 times 6. So that's the colony we have at Sarawak using this kind of system.
Okay. What's Mael? Mael?
M for Malay culture. Malay culture is the process you rearing the stingless bee at your area. Malay culture.
Okay.
M for Malay culture. I for interlink. L locket. S system.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. My
Okay.
loss.
My loss.
Yeah, my
Okay.
loss.
Cool. Rightio.
You lose something, is it?
What's that?
You said you lost something. My loss.
Oh.
No.
I keep
Bad
thinking.
fun.
Yeah.
Bad fun.
I keep reading it as Milo, like the drink.
Yeah, the drink also. You just add S behind.
All right. Well, thanks very much again for this, Hamza. So
Yeah.
we'll say goodbye to Hamza, and I'm gonna wrap up and show you guys what the pancake looks like. So yeah, we look forward to talking to you again sometime. And like I said, my team, our Masters of Malaysian Cuisine chefs, are going to be in Malaysia throughout July, and we have a whole bunch of people very excited. And maybe we can catch up when we're over in Penang as well. All right.
Sure. But please make sure bring also with your food, because
Oh, yeah.
quite hungry after.
Wonderful choice. All our chefs can cook, and also none of us should wear black color. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again, Hamza. Good to catch up with you. I'll see you later. All right, guys. So this is it. Let me just change the layout on my screen so you can see this properly. Okay, here we go. Okay. So there you go. That's my banana pancake, right? Like I said, perfect if you can get a hold of banana leaves, because you can just kind of like just spread out your pancake batter in there, and then just grill it, and then voila, there you go. Very rustic looking. Okay, so obviously it's got this rustic charm about it. It's like uneven. It's not prettily round and all that. It doesn't have anything to make it like puff up or anything like that, but it is absolutely delicious. And what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to do what Chef Renee did, our Masters of Malaysian Cuisine Uber chef, Michelin trained, one of the most influential chefs in the Middle East working today, Renee Jufri, who is a Masters of Malaysian Cuisine founding member. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to drizzle more of the stingless bee honey over this, but just a little bit, okay? Because we already have some in the batter, okay? And that will just give it a beautiful, sweet and tangy flavor. There you go. So give it a shot, guys. Don't forget, recipes. If you want the recipes, you need to sign up at malaysianchefs.com/recipes. recipes. And Annie Thompson says, thank you, Hamza, very interesting. Yeah, right, my audience thinks like all this information is just beautiful. But also, like I said, don't forget, if you want the recipes and you haven't signed up already, do so now at malaysianchefs.com/recipes. And Fauzia says, thanks, Hamza, for the precious information. We all learned so much about about Kelulut, about Malaysian Stingless Bee Honey. So if you can get a hold of it in your part of the world, do so, okay? Bayou Kelulut, Bayou Stingless Bee Honey is what we can get here in Australia. That's one of the major brands you can find in Malaysia, right? And this is the only brand here that you can find in Australia, which again, as a reminder, you can pick up at bayou-australia.com.au, and they will send it anywhere to Australia and New Zealand as well, I believe. Okay, and also if you are here in Sydney, you just want to pick it up at the shops, you can do it at Malaysian groceries in Punch Bowl. All right, guys, thanks again so much for sticking around. Love you guys. And for those of you who tune into our lives, don't forget, this Sunday at 4 p.m. Malaysia, we're going live. We're going to have 4 live broadcasts back to back, different people cooking different things around the theme of Ramadan around the world. And I look forward to your company then. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for the email with the links to watch. And again, final word, final call out. If you want the recipes to all the series, this is my 8th session. I've got 16 recipes covering this series to send out to you guys, so don't miss out, okay? And I will see you next time. And I always do this. I always forget to bring myself back on front the camera. Okay, right here, guys. Thanks again. I will see you on Jackie M. Have a good night. Ciao.